Within the previous training video, I cautioned you on the overuse of date constraints and really tried to discourage you from using them. So let me give you an alternative that won't shackle MS Project and stop it from forecasting and planning appropriately based on the data that you've entered around task durations, work and dependencies and so forth. And that alternative is through using the deadline functionality of MS Project and also using the functionality or the ability to create custom fields, custom indicators and custom filters. So first of all, let's look at what a deadline is. So a deadline specifies the finish date of a task or milestone. Your MS Project plan will treat your deadline dates as serious critical dates and will react accordingly if missed or in danger of being missed. Now, I say use these sparingly, but not from the perspective of you're going to shackle MS Project, as I said, but you don't want it to desensitize you to real issues within your plan. So you want to use this so that it represents true business and project critical deadlines within your project lifecycle. With that said, when you enter the date, it indicates when you need that task or milestone to be completed, and setting that deadline does not set a constraint or affect the task scheduling. However, any deadline that is missed will be considered in your critical path calculation. If I double click on task number 20 when mouse assembly is complete, and I select the advanced tab, and here under deadline, if I enter the 22nd of July 2022 and click OK, you can now see I have a graphical indicator indicating there is a deadline been set for this particular task. Now, at the moment you can see all our activities on the critical path here. But if I take this deadline and, for example, if I move it to the left to before the 14th of July and drop it there, you can now see two things. Number one, those tasks that sit on the driving path or your predecessor path have now appeared on the critical path within your tracking Gantt view here. And also on the left hand side you have an exclamation mark here, this diamond, red diamond here, that denotes that that deadline has been or will be missed. Now this is great here, visually we can see it, but again, if you've got 200 lines, 1,000 lines on your project plan or program plan, this is not very easy to pick up and you can't filter on it. So let's look at how we can pull this out. And also it'd be nice when we're looking at this stuff is that we can see that which items are on critical path based on them missing a deadline. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a few columns. So I'm going to move this over to the right. I'm going to shrink this column down a little bit and I can see this add column. So I'm going to, instead of right clicking and inserting a column, I'm going to add a column and I'm going to type deadline, and there's a deadline that's appeared, and I'm going to select that from the drop down, and here you can see our deadline that's been set here, right? What I'm also going to do is I'm going to create a custom column that I want to calculate and give an indication of whether a deadline's been missed or it's on track. And I'm going to do that by going to the project ribbon. I'm going to go to custom fields, and as you can see, this is a custom field for tasks, but you can set up custom fields for resources and so on, and you've got several different types. So these are text fields. I'm going to select a number type field, and I'm going to use the first available one, number 1 here, and I'm going to rename that custom number field to deadline status and click OK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a formula within this custom field. So I'm going to select the formula, and on the functions under the general functions I'm going to select this if statement. So it's going to have an expression, and if that expression is true, what value do I put in this field? If that expression is false, what is the alternative value I'm going to put in this field? So I'm just going to get rid of these here, like so, and then I'm going to select my first field. So I want to know if my deadline is less than my finish date. So I'm going to select the date, deadline, and I'm going to do the less than sign, and again choose my date, which is going to be the finish date. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to put a comma. So if it's true, I want to put a 1 in this field, and if it's false, I want to put a 0, like so. And then I'm going to click OK, and it's giving me a warning here that I'm making a change to this custom field. I'm going to click OK. And let me just click OK there to close that down. I'm then going to add that field we've just created to this view. So I'm going to do the drop down. I'm going to type D for deadline. There's our custom number 1 field, deadline status. I'm going to select that. And as you can see, I've got some 0s and some 1s. But again, that doesn't look great. I want to see a graphical indication. I don't want to see 0s and 1s. So again, I'm going to go into my custom fields on the project ribbon, and with the deadline status number field 1 field selected, I'm going to go to graphical indicators, and I'm going to select that, and I'm going to do equals. So if it equals 0, which means everything's okay, I want it to do a green icon. So I've got a number of icons to choose from here. I'm going to select the green one. However, if it equals 1, then it's bad. So I'm going to select a red icon, like so, and click OK. And then click OK again. And now what you can see is I can see a graphical indicator here where it's red and where everything is okay here. So again, that's fine on a 28 tasks project plan. But again, if it's 1,000 lines, I want to be able to filter and say, show me all those tasks where I've missed or I'm potentially going to miss a deadline. And to do that, I'm going to use the filter functionality. So I'm going to go onto the view ribbon, and on the drop down here on filter, I'm going to select a new filter to create one. And in here, I'm going to call this missed deadlines. And I want it to show it on the menu drop down for future. So I'm going to go where my custom field, so I'm going to type D. Here's deadline status number 1, and where it equals 1, like that value that we put into that field when it's missed, I'm going to apply that there and apply it. Go yes. And there you can see it's now filtered the view on my missed deadline or deadlines. I'm going to take that filter off and do no filter. There you go, an alternative to date constraints. I'm now going to go in here and I'm going to remove that deadline from here. So I'm just going to double click the mouse on the advanced tab. I'm just going to do delete, do OK, and that deadline's now gone. Hopefully that has been useful to you.